Welcome to all our viewers around the world. I'm Charles Sciangula for the Live4Live Entertainment Talk Show. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got a great lineup for you tonight. We have Miss Leah Gentile, a.k.a. Big Mama Siciliana, the social media sensation. She is with us here tonight. And we also have our good friend, Mr. Carmelo Tortolano. He will be co-hosting tonight's show as well. And we also have our sponsor of the week. Finally, she's here with us. Miss Sandra Tagliapietra from Assistance Ticket. She will be with us tonight, and if you have any questions, tonight's the night. So ladies and gentlemen, just sit back and we'll be back.
The Live4Live Entertainment Talk Show is brought to you by the following sponsors: Mercedes-Benz Montréalais, Les Délices Lafrenière, Assistance Ticket, Tyron Renovations, and SME Sécurité.
Welcome to all the viewers around the world. I'm Charles Sciangula for the Live4Live Entertainment Talk Show. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some very interesting guests with us, and I'd like to introduce them to you. I just want to apologize for this raunchy voice this evening. So for all of you people that are under the weather, please accompany me tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have this fine lady in the house. She is a social media sensation. Her name is Miss Leah Gentile, a.k.a. Big Mama Siciliana. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome her to Live4Live Entertainment Talk Show. Make yourself comfortable, Leah. Finally, we got you on the show.
Yes, we did.
There we go. I knew eventually you would come. And I'd like to introduce another fine gentleman who's a regular now on our show. He is very involved in the community and fundraisers. And he will be talking about something that we're doing now for the Christmas drive. And I'd like you to welcome a good friend of ours, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Carmelo Tortolano, please. Welcome, Carmelo. Make yourself comfortable. You know where it's at. There we go. So, Leah, once again, congratulations on your success. I think you've done some great work. And every morning when my mom opens up her Facebook and says, "Buongiorno paesani," and she's in heaven when she hears that. So
Thank you. It just happened by fluke because I was on a road trip from Florida last year, coming back with my kids, and kids get rowdy on a long road trip. So the Sicilian of me came out, and my kids were like, "What was that?" So I said, "You know what? I'm going to teach you Sicilian one word a day." And I decided to put it also on Facebook and Instagram, and it just snowballed from there. And people started commenting that they liked it, and it brought them back to memories of their childhood and their grandparents. And so with all the likes that I got in the comments, well, I can't stop anymore because I'm over 4,000 followers on Facebook.
fantastic.
And I'm almost at 2,400 on Instagram. And I also have to thank Carmelo for that because he also included me in his Amici.live
That's correct.
website. So it's just snowballing, and I'm meeting a lot of fantastic people, and I'm getting involved in a lot of fundraisers and community events that it all benefits those who are less fortunate.
Absolutely. Now, every time I see you, you have consistent energy. What kind of vitamins do you take, Leah?
I don't. Depression has been part of my life.
Okay.
It still is. But I do put a smile on and a mask when I'm out there. And it was life-changing for me 4 years ago when my husband and I were in a motorcycle accident. There was a death involved, and I almost passed on. But I'm lucky to be alive, and therefore my train of thought was not why didn't I die, but why did I live? What's my purpose? And therefore, with analyzing myself and my life, I said, well, then I have a purpose of giving back. So what can I do for others, to help others? And so I started the social media that cheers people up, even if it's for 5 minutes a day, because there's a lot of sadness in the world. So if people can smile for those 5 minutes, I'm happy. And I'm also getting involved with Carmelo, with his fundraisers of No One Fights Alone, and the autism awareness. I'm a little bit everywhere. I call myself a piece of salt because I'm everywhere.
A little pinch of salt everywhere, right?
Exactly. So I enjoy it. I meet a lot of fantastic people, and you know what? It's helped me a lot get out of my depression, and I love being around people.
Well, one thing I have to tell you, for people to do this consistently the way you do, you have to have a cause. You got to be passionate. You have to have energy first and foremost. And this is something that is very noble of you because, is it Leah Gentile that people are attracted to, or is it the fact that they want to learn a new Sicilian word every morning? Which one is it in your case?
I think it's a bit of both.
Okay.
A lot of people consider me a celebrity. I don't. I just consider myself a regular person who's trying to keep my culture, my Sicilian roots alive. And if I can do that with one word a day, whether you're Sicilian or not, it really doesn't matter. As long as you keep the language, the culture, the customs, and we can pass them on to our children, then that's what counts. And if they like Big Mama or they don't, if they like me, they don't, it doesn't matter. What matters at the end of the day is if they learn something and if they can pass it on to their kids.
Fantastic. Well, what we're going to do, this is our first segment, and we're going to go to a commercial break, and we're going to come back with you and Carmelo. So I want to just tell all our sponsors that are going to be coming on board in December that we're going to have a new advertising campaign. And we're going to go to a sponsor commercial break at this point. And at the same time, what we're going to do is we're going to introduce you to the Havana Tropicana Club in Havana, Cuba. We have some clips. We're going to play 3-minute clips of the #1 show bar in the world. It's a running show since 1939. And for all of those Canadians, Americans, or everybody around the world that you haven't been to the Tropicana Club in Havana, tonight we're going to take you there, and we're going to run 4 different clips of about 3 minutes and 20 seconds for you to enjoy. It is an absolutely spectacular show bar. It's not a show bar, it's a great big show bar. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back after this commercial break and after the Tropicana clip. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to all our viewers around the world. I'm Charles Sciangula, and I'm your host for the Live4Live Entertainment Talk Show. And we are very, very honored to have tonight this fine lady, Miss Leah Gentile, Big Mama Siciliana, and Mr. Carmelo Tortolano. And Leah, you know, we're talking about giving back, and I just want to mention that the gentleman right next to you, Mr. Carmelo Tortolano, has been a person who's very committed in the fundraisers and in different social activities. And to everybody watching out there, we got two fine people wanting to give back. What's your take on wanting to give back to the community, Leah?
Well, I find it's very important to give back because we can't stand alone, just like the theme that Carmelo chose for his breast cancer research foundation galas. Because when you're alone, you tend to fall and you have no one to lean on. But when you're surrounded by friends, family, and support, then you get encouraged to look forward and move on. So you need the support. You need to give back. And if we're lucky enough to be blessed with health, then we should try and help those who are less fortunate.
Absolutely. Carmelo, what's your take on this? You're the foremost authority right now on this particular situation.
That was the reason why we called our campaign "No One Fights Alone," because at the end of the day, you know, everything is done as a group of people reuniting together to make things happen. Alone, we don't accomplish anything in life.
Now, let me ask you, Carmelo. You have an event coming up November 17th for autism.
Yeah, it's our bowling event party.
You want to tell everybody out there? Although I understand it's sold out, but you could still donate.
Yeah, people can still donate. They can reach our access info number, which is 514-322-1030.
The phone number, by the way, will be posted. The number that Carmelo just gave you will be posted on the screen as we go on into the broadcast. Go ahead.
Yeah. And the event is being held at L'Équipes Moderne, which is on L'Assomption and near Sherbrooke. And even though the event is sold out, you can still come. There's going to be plenty of refreshments. We'll have pizza, cake. All the stuff is donated by a lot of good sponsors. And you can come and enjoy. I mean,
any of the sponsors that we have here, by the way, Carmelo?
We have Mode de Vie, who's one of our main
Gaetano
sponsors.
Orsino is coming on board as a sponsor.
Exactly.
Yes.
We have Eurofarm Pharmaceuticals in St.
Mr.
Leonard.
Nello Caltagirone, yes.
Yeah. We have various different bakeries that work with us on a regular basis. Well, too many sponsors to mention. When we had our cancer fundraiser, we had over 150 sponsors. So it's
Carmelo, how do you do it? You got a wife at home waiting for you because you told me tonight you could make it, but you had to call your mom, your wife. Not
well,
your mom.
I wanted to clear it with her because last night I was at another event for Panorama Italia. So yeah, it's every night there's something going on. So I just wanted to clear it with her because usually we walk together at night. We go for our walks.
Okay. Is your wife involved in some of your activities?
No, not so much. No, she's more on the.
She supports you, though.
She supports.
There you go. That's important. I noticed that you mentioned that one day you're going to bring your event planner here, a very interesting lady that works with you, because you got a team, you got a crew that helps you out, if I understand correctly, right?
Nothing's done by yourself. It's there's a big team behind me. Christina Perry's the event planner, and also committee member. If I'm going to start mentioning names, I'm going to have to look at my phone to make sure I don't miss anybody out, because if I do, I'll never hear the end of it.
Well, let me tell you, Carmelo, I've known him for many years, and I just want to give him a thumbs up, kudos for his commitment to all these different causes and in giving back to the community. And God bless you, Carmelo.
Thank you.
And you're going to be also planning, I understand, something coming in May for autism. Is that correct?
Yeah, in May we're going to have our gala for autism.
For autism.
Yeah.
And have you confirmed location and date?
Not yet, but in the new year you'll.
We should know.
We should know.
Okay,
for sure.
so we'll have you back with our other good friend, Mr. Gaetano, and we're gonna try to give you some extra exposure on that. How's that?
Yeah, it's perfect. Actually, if I could say, we're actually doing a campaign for Christmas baskets.
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
They're going to be available as of December 1st. I reached out to about half a dozen companies. They donated all the products, and the baskets are being assembled by the students of Galileo and
That's correct.
Giant Steps.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, it's like our campaign is called "Different is Not Broken." So the autistic students of Galileo and Giant Steps are putting the baskets together, and once they're all prepared, we're gonna sell them, and all the profits from the baskets are gonna be donated back to the two schools.
Fantastic. Leah, getting back to you. You have 2 children, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now, when your children see you, buongiorno paesani, what does your daughter tell you? I'm sure you must have some interesting conversations or comebacks with her, right?
They're pretty embarrassed because most of their friends follow me and find me hilarious.
There you go.
But they themselves are embarrassed, and they tell me, "Mom, don't film me. Mom, I don't want to be on the video." But all in all, I keep telling them, "You have a cool mom." I mean, how many moms you know have all these followers?
Absolutely.
But I think they're too young to understand and appreciate how cool I actually am in this day and age.
Absolutely.
But they're pretty okay with it. I mean, they don't complain more than they have to. I mean, they're teenagers.
Can you explain now on right behind the screen there is a logo, okay, which is the island of Sicily, and you have the Trinacria.
That's correct.
Can you explain to all the viewers the 3 points exactly what it represents for non-Sicilians or non-Italians?
Well, it's the 3 points of Sicily because, as you see, it's a triangle. So the legs represent because Sicily was always invaded by other countries in many years past. So it was invaded by the Greeks, by the Syrians, by the Turks. That's why the Sicilian language is so unique. It's a mixture of
Absolutely.
all these
It's the best
other
of all
nationalities.
worlds. There you go.
That's correct. So that's why, I mean, it's got the feet because everybody tried to get into Italy through Sicily.
That's right.
And that's why the 3 legs represent the 3 points. But as you see, I kind of modified it a little to make it personalized to
That's
me.
right.
And I put the hands, 3 hands, because I always
okay.
talk with my hands.
There we go.
And there you go.
Do you love to cook?
Not so much. I leave that to my husband.
To your husband?
He cooks, I clean.
Well, Mr. Triassi, you're a good man.
He's a good cook.
We have him in the audience over here. He's laughing. It's okay. Well, I want to take this opportunity, Leah, to thank you for being on our show.
Thank you.
I want to wish you continued success.
Thank you.
Don't leave us because we have another guest. We're going to go now to a commercial break once again. And we're going to go to the second segment of the Tropicana in Havana, Cuba. For all you people who don't know the Tropicana, it's a big venue outdoors, and they have a show which is called the Tropicana. It's been running since 1939, and they showcase over 120 dancers. An absolutely spectacular show. For all of those that haven't been to Havana, ladies and gentlemen, listen to the next clip for about 3 minutes and 20 seconds and get a taste of the Tropicana in Havana. And we'll be back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to do the Sponsor of the Week segment. And tonight we have Sponsor of the Week, Mr. Mercedes-Benz Montreal Est, Phil Salvatore. He's Mr. Mercedes. If you're looking for some consultation and buying your dream car, Mr. Phil Salvatore is the man you want to see. He's always available, and they're out in the East End in Puerto Tram, Mr. Phil Salvatore. And if you want to go for some croissants, you have, of course, Les Délices La Frenée. They serve them, by the way. So we got Pepe and Joseph Ruvo. Great family, great operation with multiple locations, the best cake artistry in the city. They'll build you a house in suites. So, ladies and gentlemen, Les Délices La Frenée out in the East End. And we also have Mr. Angelo Waragna from Tyrone Construction. He's the man. If you're looking for professionalism, true to the word. He's got tons of experience in building apartment buildings, condos, homes, commercial buildings. Mr. Angelo Waragna, he's the man. And we also have Taxi Assistance, Miss Sandra Tagliapietra. She's the lady for legal counsel for all your tickets. If you're looking for wanting to contest them, Miss Sandra Tagliapietra will, for a very minimal fee over the phone or online, she'd be more than glad to assist you. Very, very fine lady. She's a true professional. And obviously, for legal counsel, she's the lady you want to go to. And we have SMI Security Systems that you want to look for the latest security applications for home integration. Alarms, cameras, access cards. SMI Security Systems is the company for before, during, and after sales service. That's the company, SMI Security Systems. So thank you very much to all our sponsors once more, and we'll be back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Charles Sciangula for the Live4Live Entertainment Talk Show. And tonight we have a very special guest, one of our sponsors from the beginning of our first episodes. And the company name is Assistance Ticket. And we have Miss Sandra Tagliapietra. She is a lawyer. And we're going to have her on several segments once a month over here. For all you people out there wanting some legal counsel, you got some good information here tonight. And I want everybody to listen if you've got some questions in reference to the highway security code when it comes to driving cars and getting a lot of tickets. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Miss Sandra Tagliapietra. Come on in, Sandra. Welcome. It's a pleasure having you with us. Make yourself comfortable. That's Miss Mama Siciliana. There you go. So, Mama, do you pay your tickets?
I don't get any.
Oh, you're a good man. You're a good lady. Sorry. You're a good lady. Sandra, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And I want to thank you for being our proud sponsor and supporting us, of course.
You're welcome.
And as you know, we've had many people inquiring, when is she going to be on? Because we will have some questions we may have for her. But meanwhile, I'll try to get as much information out there for you, to our viewing audience. Sandra, how long have you been in this profession?
So I've been practicing for about 10 years now.
10 years. What exactly is your expertise?
So my specialty is criminal and penal law.
Criminal and penal.
Correct.
Okay. Penal would be?
Everything to do with the highway safety codes. So
highway safety codes.
Basically tickets.
Okay. So I'll be your biggest customer. I'll be your biggest fan. Now, let me ask you, what is the procedure for people out there that get tickets like me and don't pay them? What is the procedure that you would recommend from a get-go, from step number 1 to step number 2? What's the procedure?
So basically, as soon as the police officer stops you, gives you a ticket, you have 30 days from that date to contest it.
Okay. So basically, we get the ticket. If we want to contest it, we have to put not guilty in the back, right?
Correct. So what you would have to do would be mark the not guilty, sign it, date it, and send it off to the court.
Okay. Yeah. So once we will have sent it off, then we get a court appearance date, if I'm correct?
Correct. Before you do all that, you should actually contact us,
That's
Assistant
right.
Tickets.
Yes, very important.
And we would guide you through all the steps from that point forward.
Okay, so basically, you take care of the file at that point once somebody contacts you and says, take it over, you will then communicate with the courts. Is that correct?
Correct. So we suggest from the moment you get the ticket, you contact us. We'll guide you. We'll tell you how to contest the ticket. So you have the 30 days, like I had said. And from there, you will receive a court date. You will send that off to us, and we will take all the steps necessary all the legal steps basically necessary.
Now, when we go to court, is it, depending on where you get the ticket, will determine where you will present yourself, if I'm correct?
Correct. So we go anywhere from Montreal, Laval, South Shore. We go all over the province of Quebec, basically.
Okay. So now, the demerit points, whether it's for for alcohol, drinking and driving, whether it's for cell phones, demerit points, do they actually increase your insurance fees?
Yes, they do. So that does affect the insurance, and yes, it does.
And when it comes to, for example, renewing the license, we have X amount of points, if I'm correct. What is the maximum points we have allowed?
Correct. So how the system works, anyone over 25 has a full point. So which means it's 15 points. And from 23 to 24 years of age, it's a 12-point license.
Okay.
And anyone under 23 years of age is an 8-point license.
So they're being less tolerant, right? If I understand
Correct.
correctly.
So the younger you are, the less demerit points you have on file.
Has it proven to work out, the fact that they're becoming a little stricter with these type of incentives on being less tolerant?
It has, because unfortunately with the 8-point demerit license does tend to have more suspended permits.
Permits,
so, correct.
okay. And for example, now, if we talk about cell phones, which I guess it could be something very, very common, are there any laws now that have changed from, let's say, 3-4 years ago, where before the laws were a little more vague, and maybe now they're a little more stringent due to the fact that it's been in effect longer?
Correct. So recently the law did change for cell phones. So having the device in your hand or any type of distraction, the demerit points has risen. So it went from 3 to 4 points and now to 5 points.
Okay. So now, if I have this device, this is a cell phone. I have it in my hands, but I'm not talking. I am breaking the law. Is that correct?
Correct. As soon as you are holding the device in your hands, whether you are talking, using it, or just holding it, you have...
So if I go to a judge and I tell him, listen, I just had it in my hand, but I had no intentions of using it, I'm sorry, you just shot yourself in the foot because I had the device in my hands, right?
Correct. You'd be found guilty of the infraction.
There we go. So much for that one. Okay, I used to use that as a defense many years ago, but it doesn't work anymore. Sandra, now at this point, for example, if somebody loses their 15 demerit points,
Yes.
what is the next step that they have to go through?
So if they lose their 15 demerit points, basically what we can do, what Assistant Ticket can help you do, is get your restricted license. So what that means is they'll give you certain hours of the day where you can actually use your permit if you need your vehicle for working purposes.
Correct.
So if you, for example, are a delivery person and need your vehicle, obviously to keep your job, maintain your job, we can go get your restricted license.
Okay. Well, what we're going to do, Sandra, this is very interesting, and we're going to come back with this. We're going to go to a commercial break, and we're going to go to another clip of the Tropicana in Havana. For all you people that haven't been there, this is a little video clip of one of the greatest show bars in the world, running since 1939, and it's in Havana, Cuba. So we'll be back, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be back after this commercial break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Charles Sciangula for the Live for Live Entertainment Talk Show, and tonight we have a special guest in the house, Miss Sandra Tagliapietra from Assistance Ticket. So for all you viewers out there, listen to this very interesting segment. It could save you a few points and a little bit of money, because she is a professional lawyer that from Assistance Ticket, and if you're wanting any legal counsel, she's the lady. So getting back to what we were discussing, Sandra. Now, for example, when it comes to speeding, we were discussing before, if you get a speeding ticket that comes from a camera, and if you get a speeding ticket from a police officer, they're two totally different things. You don't lose any points because when it comes from a camera, right?
Correct. So when it's a photo radar, basically there's no points. It's just a fine. So
Okay.
you basically just pay a fine. Versus when it's a police officer and he's on the side of the road with his radar gun, well, then there's points attached to that.
Okay, interesting. Now, what happens, for example, when it comes to, again, drunken driving, okay? It is criminal, if I'm correct, right?
Correct.
Now, are they more stringent with the breathalyzer tests now? Are the laws a lot more stringent with people that have had previous records with drunken driving?
Correct. So the laws have changed. Again, it's a few years where the laws have become stricter. There is a criminal record now when you do get caught for drinking and driving. So you do get a criminal record on your first offense if you are found guilty of drinking and driving. If you are a repetitive offender, basically you can be looking at jail time.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Now, is that a federal offense? Is that when they say when
Correct. Where we fall under the Criminal Code of Canada.
of
correct.
Canada?
That's
Okay,
correct.
I didn't know that. Not that I knew before, but I don't know it. I don't understand. But in any event, okay. So now what you're saying to people that drink and drive, be careful. That's what you're saying, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, what happens if somebody, for example, is driving and they pulled over and they don't have a valid driver's license? How do you assist them? What is the strategy you use, for example? Because there are laws that you need a valid driver's license, right?
Correct.
So now they take the car away, if I understand correctly, if you don't have a valid driver's license,
They
right?
do. Correct.
And how do you get that car back or your vehicle back?
So basically, there's a delay of about 30 days where they seize the vehicle, and after that, you can get it back. Meanwhile, there's also a procedure you can do to have the vehicle back under certain circumstances.
Okay, so now all these people that are watching and they have questions, for example, I'm sure that everybody watching tonight is going to have some different questions with different angles on how they got tickets. What you want to do is we're going to post a phone number on a caption right below the screen, and you can get in touch with Miss Sandra Tagliapietra, and for a very minimal fee, you can get in touch with her through her phone or on her website. Or you can email her. And if you have any questions, interact at that point, and I'm sure that Sandra will be able to assist you in whatever questions you have. Sandra, going forwards now, what do you see as far as the whole highway security code? Is it getting a little more stringent with the different laws? Are they regulating more and more due to the fact that there are still many bad incidents that happen on the road?
Correct. They are cracking down actually quite a little bit in the last 2 to 3 years. Like I said, the demerit points have been going up for certain infractions like the cell phones. There's hit and runs infractions where it's a 9 point. So the consequences are pretty severe. There have been too many accidents on the road, too
That's
many
right.
deaths on the road, so they have no other choice but to.
Okay, so what you're saying now is get yourself, what she's trying to say basically is, if it was up to me before, I would try to go in and save that money and try to defend myself. But obviously the judges, the laws are a little more stricter now. And I'm no professional, far from it, especially when it comes to the laws. We are law-abiding, of course, but we want to try to go into a court and try to defend ourselves. That's not a very good strategy. What you do is you want to get in touch with Miss Sandra Tagliapietra and get in touch with her, because when you're going to be going into court, she will be able to give you the best counsel possible and it'll save you on the long run a lot more money, a lot more grief, and less headaches. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this opportunity to thank Sandra.
Thank
Okay,
you.
this was very important, and we definitely want you back, because I guarantee you we're gonna have a lot more questions for you on the next show when you come back. She will be on once a month, ladies and gentlemen, and if you have questions, once again, you can dial her cell number, which will be captioned on the screen when we're broadcasting, or the website, and we'll have another segment on other highway security code infractions. And if you have any questions, please interact with Ms. Sandra Tagliapietra. So I want to take this opportunity before we go to our next commercial break and we close off the show. We're going to go to the next clip from the Tropicana in Havana, an absolutely spectacular show. If you haven't seen it, take a plane, go to Havana, you're going to love it. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody who's been on the show tonight. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Miss Leah Gentile, Big Mama Siciliana, and my good friend Carmelo Tortolano. He's somewhere out in the studio over here. And once again, we'll be back next week, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. May God bless.